March 25th, 1980, former Michigan coach Johnny Orr becomes a Cyclone, and the story of how Johnny gets to Iowa State is almost as entertaining as the coach himself.
Well, in 1980, Lou McCullough called me, and I was in Ann Arbor, and he asked me if I'd ever been to Iowa State. They were looking for a basketball coach, and he said he'd like to get me to help him find a coach. So I said, sure, I'll help you do that. He says, you ever been out here? And I said, well, long ago. He says, do you play golf? I said, yeah, I play golf. He said, why don't you come out a weekend, we'll play golf, and I'll show you all the facilities and everything. Then we talk to guys, you'll know what to tell them, and talk about Iowa State. I said, okay, so I came out, we played golf and everything like that. He took me back to the airport. He says, you know, I talked to some of the board, and they'd like to have you come. How about you? I said, no, I'm not interested, Lou. I got a good job, and I said, I'm only gonna be in this business a year or two more, and I'm getting out of it. So I went back home. My wife said, how'd you like it? I said, Ronnie, it was terrific. I said, boy, they were really terrific to me. Everything was great. She said, why didn't you take the job? I said, well, Ronnie, I said, they're no good. I said, geez, they're terrible. And about 4 or 5 days later, they called me back. Said they remember the athletic board and everybody was unanimous, wanted me to come out here. Why didn't I bring Rami out and we'd talk about it? So I said, okay. So we came out for a weekend and got everything all straightened up, everything but the money. And I said, who won't go for the money? He said, oh, he'll never go for that. I said, well, who's the guy? He said, well, Dr. Parks. I said, well, I got to see him. So they took me up to the Knoll, and I met with Dr. Parks and Lou McCullough, and we got to talking and everything, and Dr. Parks was great. He says, you know, I'm a basketball fan. He said, I'd love to have you be my basketball coach. Never had a good team before I retire, and I think you could give us a good team. And I said, well, Dr. Parks, we get a few of these little things out of the way, I'll be your coach. And he turned to Lou, he said, Lou, anything Johnny wants, you give it to him. And I turned to Dr. Parks and shook his hand. I said, Dr. Parks, I'm your coach. I said, no question about that. Well, we got in the car to leave, McCullough and I and Rami, and McCullough said, you're asking for more than I'm getting. I said, well, Lou, give yourself a raise. And by golly, he did. Press conference was absolutely jammed, and students unbelievable and everything. It was a terrific reception that I received here. And when I came back that time, the second time we already took the job, the people around town, several people offered to sell me their homes and everything if I'd come here and be the coach. And so I was really excited about getting here and seeing what I could do. But I'll tell you, the first practice I went to, Coach, I went to the first practice. I went home, I told my wife, I said, go in the living room, Rami. I said, I'll fix us a pitcher of martinis and we're gonna have a drink before dinner tonight. I'm gonna tell you about practice. I said, whoo, maybe we made a mistake. I said, oh man, we're not very good. And I said, ooh, it's gonna be a long, long year. But those guys played so hard for me, it was unbelievable. We won 9 games, which was absolutely amazing. They did such a great job.
The first few years under Johnny are a struggle, but there are players that lay the foundation for success.
You know, I brought Ronnie Harris in here and Terrence Allen, and then Barry came.
Coach Orr hired Rick Wesley from being like a volunteer grad assistant to a full-time coach. And Rick really chose, with Coach Orr's blessing, to go to Michigan and spend a lot of time in Michigan recruiting. And that's when the good players started to come in, and that's when everything really got rolling.
In the 1982-83 season, a freshman guard named Jeff Hornacek arrives. And along with emerging sophomore star Barry Stevens, the Cyclones begin to soar. And it's on February 8, 1983, against number 8 Missouri, that many believe the magic is born.
Peterson inbounds to Hornacek, 8 seconds, 7. Stevens. It's good, and they have done it! Missouri has lost it! This place is going wild. What a win for Johnny Orr and the Cyclones. There's no use to even tell you that almost total pandemonium is raging here at Hilton Coliseum.
But that's got to be one of the biggest wins here for Iowa State, one of the biggest wins for you.
Well, that's one of the greatest wins of my life, I think, Gary. And I'm just so proud of my team and my coaches and the fans. I can't tell you how. I just tickled to death for my team and for Iowa State, and that makes me feel very good.
Oh yeah, I definitely thought it was going in, and a lot of the shots I took, they could have been bad shots if they wouldn't have went in, but just so happened I was on tonight and they all fell, and hey, we pulled one out.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you know it.
What that game did for us, and what the same year we beat Minnesota, and they had Randy Brewer, and they had been the Big Ten champs the year before, that immediately elevated us nationally to respect. We beat two teams that were great teams, and people noticed.
The following season, the Cyclones start to break barriers. The 1983-84 team earns a trip to the NIT, the first postseason berth for Iowa State in 40 years.
Making that first NIT game, it was, I wouldn't say a big deal for most teams, but for us, for coming from 9 wins a couple years before that, that was a big step.
The Cyclones lose to Marquette in the first round of the NIT, bringing the brilliant career of Ronnie Harris to an end. Harris is the only player in Cyclone history to start every game of a 4-year career. But a new star would emerge the following season as freshman Jeff Grayer arrives and brings an immediate impact.
Coach Orr was a great guy. He was one who I felt very comfortable with. Secondly, the people that I met, I just felt like I was at home. And so it was a great feeling there. And then the one icing on the cake was Barry Stevens being here. From Flint, a friend of mine, it made sense. So that was the reason.
Well, I think he was the greatest player that I had here while he was here in school. He was absolutely flawless. When I had him, I didn't have to do much.
With established stars like Stevens and Hornacek and solid contributors like Gary Tompkins and Sam Hill, the team gels quickly and steals the hearts of Cyclone country.
Teams came in here, and I played against guys throughout my career who had played at Kansas or Kansas State or wherever in Missouri, and they'd all say, man, when we went into Hilton, it was going to be tough to win, and we knew that. And so we had a great, I think, psychological advantage over a lot of teams that started to develop that third year.
It's an exciting season, but the best is yet to come with March Madness and a trip to Kansas City, where the Cyclones make an immediate impact on the Big 8 tournament, disposing of Kansas in the semifinals.
Iowa State kids celebrating the first time an Iowa State team has ever come to this postseason tournament, and Johnny Orr has made the most of it.
Oh, listen to those folks from all over Iowa. That's it. Johnny Orr's Iowa State Cyclones defeating the Kansas Jayhawks.
Setting the stage for a championship matchup with Oklahoma. This one goes down to the wire, but the Cyclones fall 2 points short as Oklahoma wins the title over Iowa State 73-71. But the season isn't over as Iowa State makes the NCAA tournament field of 64.
That was huge to get invited. Holy cow. When I came here, I never dreamed we'd ever go to the tournament or anything.
The coaches were very, very excited. And I'm looking over at Coach Allahan and wondering, okay, we made the tournament, you know, we need to get ready to win. But he's looking at me like, you don't understand. Iowa State hasn't been there in such a long time. So when he said that and then he gave me the years, I said at that point in time, wow, we've accomplished something very big for the university here.
But the dance is short. Iowa State loses to Ohio State in the first round, ending the remarkable career of Barry Stevens. If Johnny Orr is the father of Hilton Magic, then Barry Stevens is the first son, putting the program on his back and leading it to new heights.
Well, obviously, Barry was at the beginning of this. He was the big scorer, the main guy for us who we knew we could count on in the end of games. Barry was the guy that started all that. And it's not like he ever tried to force things. He played within the system, and when his shots were there, he took them. And several times you could see, well, he's not going to make that one. The guy's right in his face, but he'd make it anyway. So he's just a great player.
Truly a real basketball player, a dynamic individual. He was a team leader, charisma galore, never any trouble, played hard all the time. He never had to say anything to him. He was a terrific example.
Stevens ends his career as Iowa State's all-time leading scorer. Tragically, Barry Stevens dies of a sudden heart attack in 2007. He was only 43.
His personality is just second to none. He's a great talker. He's a great communicator. always positive. And it's not about just playing basketball, it's about working to get better. He's the first one that brought that to Iowa State, and then the others followed and followed that work ethic.
He helped me an awful lot. Oftentimes got homesick, wanted to come home. In fact, I left at one point in time, and he was the one who actually called me and talked to me about how important it was to get an education, how important it was to stay in there and work hard at the thing I love, which was basketball. And so he encouraged me to come back. This was during the Christmas holidays. Not too many people know about this, but he encouraged me to come back. I came back here, and, you know, of course, the rest is Iowa State history.
Barry Stevens leaves a legacy at ISU that remains today, on and off the court. Number 35 will never be forgotten. And there's no doubt Stevens helped set the stage for one of the most special seasons in Cyclone history. 1985-86, Cyclone superstars, sold-out crowds, and a season full of magic.
With Jeff Hornacek, I think we worked out every single day during spring training, getting ourselves ready. Coaches didn't have to play any role in that. I think as a group, as a unit, we wanted to do something special. And so we worked out and worked hard every day. And we came back that next year, and we turned a lot of heads.
Ball game tied 80-80, and it's overtime, and here's Johnson, no good. Sam Hill down with a rebound, and there's 9 seconds. So Iowa State with a chance again. On wide open, Elmer Robinson, good! And the ball game is over.
After a record-setting regular season, the Cyclones roll into the Big 8 tournament and turn Kansas City into Hilton South. It's on to the championship game against Kansas, and another great game with great performances.
We were down, I think maybe 10 or 15 points. Coach called a timeout. We went to the bench, and I told them that, you know, we need to step it up. And we came out from the timeout. I caught the ball and drove baseline and dunked the basketball over Greg Dreiling, and the crowd went crazy. And from that point, the momentum just picked up and shifted in our way.
The Jayhawks lead by 2. Hunter into Dreiling. Hornacek with a steal. Hornacek coming down, pushing the ball down. Hornacek to Hill. Whistle.
I think he's got to walk.
Walk is what you've got.
In the end, a controversial traveling call against Sam Hill leaves the Cyclones in shock and 2 points short of the championship. But Cyclone excitement isn't finished. Next up, the NCAA tournament and a trip to Minneapolis. In round 1, the Cyclones face Miami of Ohio.
Him and do. He'll get the shot. It's a good one. Oh, what a shot.
Coach Orr, he drew up the play and said, just come off there, catch it and shoot it. So I said, okay, Coach. And fortunately it went in, and that was an exciting time, I think, for all of us, because, again, it's the NCAA tournament. You know, you're growing up as a kid, you're watching that tournament, you're following it, and to get that win was huge.
The victory sets the stage for a second-round matchup with Johnny's old team, Michigan. The Wolverines rate among the best in the country, but the Cyclones are ready.
The day before, we all talked about that game. We all wanted that game very bad. And that day was a day in which we could really show them what Iowa State was all about. And even the announcers at the time, they were saying all kinds of crazy things about JV versus varsity.
And already it looks like the JVs are playing the varsity.
It probably did hold true because we showed them who the JV was and who was the varsity.
We were small. The boy, I remember Ron Virgil, Elmer Robinson, very talented player, and Greer and Hornacek, they were basketball players.
Jeff Hornacek, the walk-on, the gym rat, the honor student for Iowa State.
It was truly what was in the heart of the man.
There's Greer posted inside. Great move. Good move on Tarpley. Great move. On balance in the air. The only way he could have made that basket.
So when we saw Roy Tarpley or Richard Relaford or Butch Wade, who all of those guys were towering over our backcourt, it didn't matter to us. We knew that if we get put good position, we box out, we rebound, when we get the ball, get out and run. They cannot keep up with us.
15 on the shot clock. Ball steal away. And a steal by Iowa State's Virgil inside to Tompkins with the stuff. And the rebound taken down by Schaefer. He's a bull. He belongs inside against Michigan. Good. Is Hornacek feeding Greer with the basket for Iowa State. Well, that was a smart play.
Coach Orr was sick, and you try to listen to him yell and scream, and it just wasn't coming out. It was real hoarse. And
It was one of those raised floors. I said, you got to get up there. Those refs are killing us. You got to get up. I don't care if you don't do anything. So we got the stool, set the stool on the floor, and he got up on it. And once he got up on it, he kind of started growling a little bit at the officials, which helped a little bit.
Incredible quickness inside by Jeff Greer, and that's one of the reasons why he's been underrated generally around the country. Finds Hornacek with 6. He's good pass to Virgil. What a pass by Hornacek.
A well-oiled machine out here. Just a great play, good teamwork.
And Hornacek hit that, Elmer back cut him, and he dunked that ball.
Hornacek will inbound, and ahead of the field is Robinson.
That was an unbelievable victory.
He's banging that table over there now.
He wants this game.
There were 39,000 people, and I don't think anyone in there except us even thought we had a chance, and we weren't really positive.
It's 1 second, it's over, and Johnny Orr of Iowa State has beaten Michigan, and how sweet it is.
And that was a big win. That was the greatest win for me. We had all the wins.
It was great. It was just an awesome feeling, not only for us, but for Johnny. Can you imagine getting a chance to face the team that you left and then be successful? So it was an awesome feeling across the board for all of us.
for all of us, it was just exciting to kind of win that game for Coach Orr. So I remember winning that game and going up the tunnel, and everyone was excited and getting in the locker room, and I think we threw Coach Orr up in the air, and you could hear him going, "Oh, let me down, let me down."
Iowa State 72, Michigan 69, a game for the ages. The Cyclones lose in the next round to North Carolina State, saying goodbye to Jeff Hornacek, a player who starts as a walk-on and finishes as the all-time career assist leader in the Big Eight. 1986-87, even with the outstanding play of Jeff Greer, the Cyclones dipped to 13-15 on the season. But the campaign is not without memorable moments, including a February 24th victory over highly rated Oklahoma.
Here we go. Tompkins will inbound. Robinson will be perched at the top of the key.
This is a different setup. It looks like it'll be Greer off the pick instead of Robinson.
Here's the pass. Schaefer, top of the lane, 15-footer. It's good. The Cyclones win. The Cyclones have defeated 12th-ranked Oklahoma. Oh! The Cyclones have beaten Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma, the three leaders of the Big Eight, all of them here at Hilton Coliseum. And Tom Schaefer has said a tremendous goodbye to the fans at Hilton Coliseum.
The 1987-88 season is a comeback year for the Cyclones. With seniors Jeff Greer and Gary Tompkins leading the way, ISU is back on the winning track. But it's another senior, LaFester Rhodes, that begins to shine and becomes a legend in one of the all-time great games at Iowa State.
We couldn't hear anybody's name on introductions. It was so loud that we just kind of had to point to. They'd point to a guy and he would go out, and that's how loud it was the whole
game?
The adrenaline was pumping. You know, that day it was like a big rivalry, and I just wanted to go out and just have a good game there.
Three-pointer by LaFester Rhodes, and he's high. Iowa starting to sag. Rhodes goes on top of it and hits it for three.
Then when I started shooting, I wasn't missing, so I knew it was on then.
I can't believe that Iowa isn't tightening up on LaFester Rhodes.
He gets two more. 20 points in the first half for LaFester Rhodes.
Non-stop. It was just a track meet.
And here comes a 3-on-2. Greer will stop and fire.
Well, it's just a shootout at OK Corral.
Rhodes from three. It's good, and a foul on Hill.
I kept saying, now they're going to go out there pretty soon. At some point in time, they're going to have to go out there and guard. And they never did.
2 seconds. It's good. Three-pointer at the buzzer, and Iowa State will go into the halftime locker room leading by one. And LaFester Rhodes cans it from downtown. Oh, we have got a ball game.
At halftime, they said I had 28 points at half, and I didn't even know. I thought I had about 10 points, but it didn't look like I had scored that many points.
Low post turnaround. Rhodes.
He just kept pumping them in. Boy, he made them from everywhere.
Goes to Robinson instead, and Rhodes tips it in. What a play by Rhodes! 44 points.
He just cannot handle him.
It seemed like everything he put up that night, he made.
On one thing, that guy has not had the ball for a long time, and he still is able to shoot the ball down.
Well, about 3 or 4 minutes ago, Allahan punches me. He says, "Coach, I think LaFester's getting tired." I said, "No, he's the only guy making a basket." He said, "I think we ought to give him a rest." I said, "Yeah, let him die out there, man."
LaFester Rhodes with 51 points.
It was an awesome, awesome game to play in.
And Gorfeld down with the rebound. Up court to Woods. LaFester Rhodes tips it in. And LaFester Rhodes with 53 points. And Iowa calls timeout. 97-92. Iowa State roars back with 7 unanswered points.
It was great. It was just great. It was a great feeling.
And Iowa State has upset 7th-ranked Iowa 102 to 100.
That's the greatest individual performance. Even to this day, in a close game, I've never seen a better performance under pressure. Had he missed, we'd have lost 102 to 100 in overtime, and the guy makes 54 points against your biggest rival. You can't top that.
The Cyclones make the NCAA tournament at 20-12, losing in the first round to Georgia Tech. And that's the end of the road for Greer, Tompkins, and Rhodes, one of the most significant senior classes in school history. In 1988-89, there's room for some new Cyclone stars, and a big man from Michigan fills the bill, and fills it well, as sophomore Victor Alexander becomes the Cyclones' new man in the middle.
It was just a great experience, you know. The fans treated me so good, you know. When I was going around to other arenas, I didn't see any of the other players getting that type of respect, and so I really appreciated the way the fans treated me here. My sophomore year in the Big 8 tournament, I had played against Stacey King, who was, highly regarded and, future NBA prospect, and I had played well against him. And that got my confidence up.
The Cyclones make the NCAA tournament in 1988-89, but the next couple of years bring mixed success and some hard losses. Alexander caps an amazing all-Big 8 career in 1990-91, but back-to-back losing seasons wear on the Cyclones. However, Cyclone excitement is about to return as the Magic meets the Mayor, Fred Hoiberg, and the Ames High School star is about to become a hometown hero at Iowa State.
The big thrill for me growing up was being able to be a ball boy at Hilton Coliseum and, experiencing Hilton Magic at a young age when Barry Stevens was the guy that really brought that on and got the team back into the NCAA tournament after a 4-year absence. And to be able to sit underneath the basket and watch guys that I idolized, Jeff Hornacek and Jeff Greer, and all the great players that came through here, and to see the crowd and be a part of it was so much fun for me. I had a sign that said 10,000 fans that want Fred Hoiberg to stay at Iowa State, and I looked through that and I knew almost every person that had signed that sheet. So, you know, all the people that supported me over the years growing up through junior high school, playing in AAU tournaments, all the way through high school, you know, the most comfortable feeling for me would be to stay home, and it was absolutely the right choice.
Oh, getting him, it was hard to get him, even though he lived in Ames and everything. And when we got him, it didn't take him long. Several practices when we started scrimmaging, he knew he was going to be a player.
And it's a match made in Hilton. Add in freshmen Julius Mikulik and Lauren Meyer, junior college transfers Howard Eaton and Ron Bayless, shooting star Justice Thigpen, and unselfish captain Brian Pearson, and the Cyclones are about to explode with several memorable moments.
Thigpen finds Eaton.
Oh, what a play.
He is fouled and he gets the basket.
On the ball out of bounds, and that's, in my opinion, is a good play. There it is, what I was talking about. Oh, he got it.
He got it. It goes. There is justice in Minnesota. Wow.
Now, if they score here, the pressure is really going to tip over hard on Oklahoma. Boy,
And there it is. A three by Ron Bayless. Pippett with a steal. Off to Thigpen. Mikulik. And Iowa State leads for the first time all afternoon. Iowa State wins 73-71. The Cyclones have equaled their win total of last year with this first Big 8 victory here at home.
Jay, that's a great comeback win.
Here comes Thigpen with Houston in the way. Hoiberg, left-handed. Here comes Thigpen. He pulls up from three-point range and hits it.
I think you go with it. This guy probably the best at taking it.
We're tied.
And 7 points down. Iowa State needs the ball 3 times.
I was in rhythm tonight.
Thigpen for another three.
Thigpen's the guy.
Thigpen for another three. Oh! Unbelievable. Justice was in Johnny Orr's outhouse. In the beginning of this game, he could go to the penthouse here.
Nice.
Hoiberg is fouled.
Well, I just went up, you know, like it was any other ordinary free throw.
He does.
My legs were shaking up and down because the court was rocking.
It's over. Wow.
Oh, what a goal.
And it went. That's going to do it.
We've beaten the number 2 team and number 3 team in the nation now, you know. Just in case you want to put that in the paper.
It's party time in Ames. You're watching Hilton Magic.
Tapped away by Mikulik on a fine play. Thigpen with the jumper. Yes!
Well, the Cyclones really been roaring out on the break. Running as well as they have all year. That's going to be it. Oh, you don't want to take a chance with a pass like that, but they get by with it.
And Iowa State wins it.
We were ready, there's no doubt about that. I mean, we were ready to play. We talked about this game, and we told them, this is it, boy. You got to win this, baby. We're going to go to the NCAA.
Iowa State trying to add to its biggest lead of the game, Thigpen, and he does. Iowa State up by 3, 16.1 seconds remaining. The touchdown pass to Hoiberg and the slam.
Johnny Orr not sleeping over there. In the end, the Cyclones win 21 games and advance to the second round of the NCAA tournament. It's the start of something big. And in 1992-93, there's more magic.
Hoiberg. Yes! And a great assist from Mikulik. Final score here in Ames, Iowa. Iowa State 81, Oklahoma 74.
The big thrill for me was playing under Johnny was that second year when we went undefeated at home. When you play in this building, you know, the crowd wills you to victories.
Understand one thing, this is one Hilton where all visitors are not welcome. down the court. Hoiberg saves it to Meyer. He won, and he slams it home.
Big Pan at the buzzer. Yeah!
He gets it!
Wow, it's a three!
Running shot!
Iowa State wins it! Wow, wow, wow!
Was it a three or two? Well, they get the good inbounds pass. He doesn't stay in front of him. That's a three.
That's a three.
That's a three.
That's a three. No question about it.
You know, we lost a very tough game at the end of our schedule there that got us second place in the conference, or else we would have been tied for first. But that was great. You know, going down to the Big 8 tournament at Kemper Arena every year was a lot of fun.
Minkely from way out. Wow! Uh-oh. Wide open Wake! Shot clock down to 15. Eaton right around Conley. The Cyclone group starting to celebrate here at Kemper Arena.
Getting to the finals, losing to a very tough Oklahoma State team down there, and you know, playing in the NCAA tournaments under Johnny was a lot of fun as well.
The Cyclones run to the 20 victory mark, tie for second place in the Big 8, and make the NCAA tournament again. But the emotional roller coaster soon takes a downturn in the 1993-94 season, while Iowa State finishes with a respectable 14-13 record. An off-the-court accident sidelines leading scorer Lauren Meyer, and ultimately the end of the season would be the end of an era.
For Johnny Orr, 218 career wins in Iowa State, 466 overall in his illustrious career.
I have nothing but great memories of Iowa State. My whole life was centered here for 14 years. And I had a great time here, and we sold it out 10 straight years, I think. It was terrific. The fans were unbelievable, really and truthfully. You hear that? But I don't think anywhere, I don't care where you go or where you've been in basketball, any arena, you had any better fans than we had here. Boy, they were awesome.
So the brilliant career of Johnny Orr comes to a close, but it's safe to say not many coaches will ever leave a mark on a school quite like Johnny Orr.
He's just a good guy to be around. Sometimes guys are maybe intimidated by the coach, a little fearful, but he was a great friend to all of us. He's a great coach to play for. He was loose. He kept everybody loose. How can you not remember the times when we're warming up and he comes out into the Here's Johnny song, and I could turn around over the corner of my eye, see him coming out, fans getting into it, and I could see the other team stop their layup line. They would all stop and look and like, what the heck is going on? And I think that was a big part of distracting the other team. They were going, oh my, we're in for a tough night.
He's one of the all-time great coaches in the history of college basketball. And you know, the great thing about him is when you're flying to cities, you know, and being able to sit with him on the plane and just listen to him tell stories, you know, not so much about basketball, but about his golf stories and playing golf with Arnold Palmer and Chichi Rodriguez and all these legends. And you know, those are the things that I really remember about Coach Orr.
He was the very best in the homes with the kids. He was an entertainer. It was like going in with Bob Hope to a kid's home. We would go in the home in our early years and they hadn't heard of Iowa State. When we left, they were going to visit. So I think the fact that the players had fun and we as a coaching staff had fun, and you know what? We enjoyed the wins.
I've been gone now 13, 14 years. I traveled all over the state. And when I go out in these small towns, we had 300 to 500 people still come to see me and talk to me and have me sign autographs and everything. And it's a tremendous thrill. I can't believe it, but it's an amazing thing.
Johnny leaves big shoes to fill as the Cyclones look for a new coach. Soon, ISU turns to a familiar face for help as Cyclone legend Gary Thompson steps in.
I knew about Tim because he was rated as one of the top 5 young coaches that's going to be a real success. Lute Olson's always been a good friend, and I've always respected Lute for his basketball. And I called him about Floyd because I knew they played, and he said, Gary, the guy can coach. And I was telling Tim why he should come to Iowa State, how he was a small-town guy, and we're small-town people, and basketball's our thing, and you'll be loved here and you'll fit in. That if he had an aspiration to go beyond, he'd never make the move winning 20 games at New Orleans year after year because it's just not the same. You got to prove it sometime or other in a major conference. And he accepted. Gene Smith the next day called me, Gary, he called back and he says he's not coming. So I called him. They were on the way to a press conference to announce that he was going to stay at New Orleans. I kind of made an emotional and passionate plea to him again, what it would mean to Iowa State and what it could do for him as well, and how we needed him at Iowa State. And the success I thought he could do. If he had confidence in himself and his ability to coach, he could win here. And somehow, Beverly picked up the message, called him and said, hey, these people really want us. We should go. And I think that's the way it turned around.
Let me introduce to you my new teammate, your new teammate, Tim Floyd.
Iowa State University fits everything that I set out to do as a coach and what our family has set out to do long term. Our style of play is going to be about doing everything we can do night in and night out to give our guys an opportunity to win.
That was very tough. You know, I thought when I came here, Johnny was going to be here for 4 years. We had 6 seniors. That year was going to be a very tough thing if Johnny stayed on that 1 extra year, and then you bring a new guy in, and it would have been very tough for recruiting. So, you know, looking back, bringing Tim Floyd in, you know, was as tough as it was to see Johnny go. You know, it was great to have Tim Floyd in here. I learned a lot from Coach Floyd. You know, he's a guy that really focused on the defensive end. You know, Coach Orr was a big thing, get out and run, and a very good offensive coach. You know, for me to have the opportunity to play for Johnny, you know, who I think is one of the top offensive minds, and then for Tim, who's one of the top defensive minds, you know, that really made me the player that I was in my future.
With the new defensive style now in place, the transition isn't always smooth, but slowly the Cyclones catch on, including a big win at Iowa. But the game of the year is at home against Kansas.
Hoiberg for the Cyclones, and a chance to take the lead. Good! That's a 3.
Now KU go into a little 2-3 zone, give him a little rest.
Hoiberg, 3. Hoiberg for 3. That's big. That's why you're all Big 8. That's why you're all American. You rise when you need to. Iowa State by 2, a minute 5 to play. And Hoiberg has just reached back and jerked his Cyclones right back into this ballgame. Iowa State by 4. Jared Haas with a long off-balance 3. No. Rebound. It's over. Holloway trying to dig it out of there. Does. It's over. Iowa State wins at 69-65. And look at the scene in Hilton Coliseum.
Boy, what a great win for Tim Floyd and his ball club. We thought they were done with 3 minutes to go. That young man is happy. The Big 8 is alive and well.
Then in Kansas City at the Big 8 tournament, ISU catches fire.
They're doing this with Meyer and Hoiberg on the bench. Earl Beecham. Holy smoke! We found the shooter. Cyclones with a 4-point lead. J.C. Holloway, Hoiberg, Earl Beecham. He's had the hot hand, stuck another one. 4 trays for Earl Beecham in the second half. Turns down the shot. Meyer, good fake, takes it down the lane, throws it up, tough, and he caught it. Oh, what a shot by Lord Meyer. Iowa State trying to kill some clock now. 2:38 left in the game. Earl Beecham with his 5th tray of the second half. He is the guy that jump-started the Cyclones.
Earl Beecham and Lauren Meyer and Yulo. You know, we went in there and Earl was on fire, and Lauren and I had another great game. Yulo made great plays like he always did. Those guys stepped up huge for us, and it was great to see those guys as seniors really carry us as much as I was struggling.
Of getting Iowa State back after they went through a very tough road stretch. Earl Beecham, 3.
Bingo, this kid can really shoot it.
10 on the shot clock.
Pick the picker.
Earl Beecham. That's another hit me. Woo-hoo! I tell you what.
He drew rain with that one.
Pass for 3. No. Beecham fighting for the rebound. The Cyclones have it. And Pollard is going to foul Sean Jackson. As the game goes off, this one's over. And Iowa State has done it.
Hoiberg and Meyer and Beecham. They stepped up big. James Hamilton. There's a happy Tim Floyd. He's happy he's still around at this part.
He went 15 rounds today.
A A second-place finish in the Big 8 tournament propels the Cyclones into the Big Dance, beating Florida before falling in the second round to North Carolina. All in all, a fitting end to some great senior careers.
Great memories. You know, making the NCAA tournament 3 out of 4 years. You know, the one year was the year Lauren got hurt, and you know, really hurt us that season. But another highlight for me was beating Iowa 3 out of 4 years. You know, that's I'll always look back and say I had a winning record against the Hawkeyes.
From old hands to new faces, the 1995-96 Cyclones feature 9 new players. Iowa State is picked for last in the league, but Coach Floyd and the Cyclones have other ideas.
Taken away. Cato, dish to the corner. Willoughby for 3.
Kenny Pratt is right there in the middle. If he can catch, he's pretty dangerous.
Third foul on Ryan Miner. Oh, he threw it up. It went in.
The Huskers will have a chance to cut it to 2, but Willoughby with the steal and the easy bucket. And Tim Floyd and company improved to 16-4 on the year, 5-1 in Big 8 conference play.
Willoughby open. Got it. Pick for last, Iowa State has a shot at first.
Cato and Haley.
Willoughby another wide open look, and he nails it. Iowa State wins for the 4th time on the road.
How about this by Willoughby? There's 1, 2. He'll draw the third defender. Just a left-handed scoop pass.
Great players and a great regular season move the Cyclones into March Madness and the Big 8 tournament in Kansas City, where the fans, coaches, and players get ready for one more magical ride.
Down by a point, 1:47 to play. Jerron Boone against Bankhead. He wants the shot. Takes it. Left by Cato. Willoughby against Lou. He's going to go. Oh! What a shot, Dedrick Willoughby.
How about those two plays? Cato with a block out of nowhere. Danny Nee wanted goaltending. And Dedrick Willoughby, the floating finger roll.
I tell you what,
Terrific ball game. They came in, played hard, gave their fans something to be proud of.
Pratt down low against Haley, who has 4 fouls. Good work, shot good, and Iowa State's back in front. 4-point lead, Iowa State. Sutherland, tremendous try for a 3, can't stick it. And ball to Iowa State again, Kenny Pratt, and it's over.
Good ball game by Iowa State of Missouri. The Cyclones will have a battle tomorrow in the championship against Kansas.
Listen to them roaring for Iowa State in here. Great bunch of fans.
Boy, will they be loud tomorrow.
After some close calls through the years, this would be the last chance to win a Big 8 title, as the conference is changing to the Big 12. The Cyclones are significant underdogs to the powerful Jayhawks, but once again, ISU is up to the challenge.
They'll have to keep their eye on Willoughby here. He cuts to the opposite side, looking to pick up a screen. Beautiful feed.
And Cato puts the Cyclones ahead by 1. 4 on the shot clock. Has to get rid. Look at this.
Got it. Yes. Got it.
You can see it all the way.
Boy, Jim, there was no doubt about it, was there?
Inside Bankhead. Banks it home. 6-point lead. Iowa State's largest.
You see some doubt in Kansas's eyes, don't you? Pratt with Vaughn down inside. They can't get there. It is.
Pratt, players draped on him, and he'll get the basket this time. Will Iowa State. And he'll shoot 1.
He has it down to a science, Jeff. Here he comes. It's clear out for Pratt.
Has to kick it back out to Holloway. 3, wow.
Huge.
Where does that come from?
Huge.
1 and 1 with 5.5 to go. Tied it. Willoughby for the lead. Perfect. Jock Vaughn. Jock Vaughn will drive it. Up the middle. Plenty of time. Vaughn driving. Puts it up. No good. Iowa State has won the Big 8 title.
The great history of this league, Iowa State finally wins one.
It's the stuff dreams are made of. Iowa State wins the Big 8 tournament, capping one of the greatest weekends in Cyclone history.
It feels great. Best thing I've ever accomplished. You hear him, look, you hear him. That's the look, that's what got us geeked, the fans. The fans got us ready to play.
Our fans are sticking around, and I'm so happy for them, and I'm happy for our players. And well, they just really locked in and did what they had to do late. JC knocked down a real big shot for us.
Coach told me, told everybody in the huddle right before that we were going to run that play.
And he told Kenny, he said, make sure he takes a look at me, because I've been open a lot. And really, I just got it, didn't hesitate, and went down. It's something I really didn't expect to happen.
It's sweet. It's so sweet. We love this. It's love it. We're on top of the world right now. It feels great coming for a bunch of guys that were expected, to come in last place. That's the best thing about it all.
But the madness is not over as the NCAA tournament begins. The Cyclones beat Cal before losing to Utah. But 1995-96 will always be remembered as a championship season. But this group of Cyclones isn't finished having an impact, as the 1996-97 Cyclones become one of the best teams in the country. For the second consecutive season, Dedrick Willoughby earns first-team All-Conference honors, while Kelvin Cato leads the league in block shots while providing some of the best highlights in school history. Twice during the 1996-97 regular season, Iowa State battles Kansas in top 10 showdowns. The fourth-rated Cyclones fall to number 1 Kansas in Lawrence. Then it's number 1 versus number 6 in Ames. And under the bright lights of national TV, Dedrick Willoughby is a shooting star.
To Willoughby, Dedrick turns, fires, and drills another one! A three-pointer for Willoughby! And it's 1917 Iowa State. Guarded by Jared Haas, trying to work himself free. Guarded by Haas, now he'll take it anyway. Good! Another three-pointer! Willoughby's fourth of the ball game. And Iowa State leads 26-24. 15 seconds to play in the first half. Dedrick Willoughby out by the timeline. Starts a move. Takes a long three. Good again! Oh, man, a monster three by Willoughby. Here's Vaughn at half court. No good, and Iowa State leads it 32-28. Willoughby hit about a 25 or 27-footer. That is long distance right there, and a big momentum boost for halftime. What a big time player he is.
In the end, the Cyclones cannot knock off number 1, despite Willoughby's 9 three-pointers, a school record that still stands today. No doubt, Dedrick Willoughby had a flair for the dramatic.
10 seconds to go, off to Willoughby in front court. Dedrick, guarded by Thames with 5. Looks it over, another long one. Good! Willoughby hits again from about 25 feet. And Iowa State leads it 38-27. And Willoughby is simply amazing tonight.
And for Willoughby and the Cyclones, it would also be a memorable march, beginning in Kansas City.
Really surprised Iowa State hadn't gone back inside to Kevin Cato with the T on the bench.
No, but Cato, wow.
Wow is right. What a monster follow-up.
Cato. That'll bring him to their feet, Ames. Fast break, Willoughby. Other side of the hoop, wow.
Sweet shot by Dedrick Willoughby.
Carr gets up a three. Oh! It hit iron and almost went down.
What a basketball game, man.
Let it go. Takes a look. Let it go. No! Iowa State are headed for San Antonio and a trip into the Sweet 16.
"22 wins and a Sweet 16, fitting way for a landmark group of seniors to finish their careers. 1997-98 would be a rebuilding season in more ways than one. Several new Cyclones take the court for what would prove to be Tim Floyd's last season.
Iowa State's on an 11-0 run. And here comes two more from Pfizer. Watch this dunk. Pull up, but Pfizer swats it into the Iowa State bench.
Brad Johnson leaves it for Pfizer. Quick move to the hoop.
Floyd moves on to the NBA and the Chicago Bulls, but his legacy continues with the hiring of his former assistant and Utah State coach, Larry Eustachy.
There's tremendous tradition here, and I always thought that it was a place that you had a chance to win a national championship, and there's not a lot of places like that around the country. The common formula is the crowd, and the Hilton magic is, I'd heard about it, but until I experienced it.
The crowd on its feet.
You really have to be at a game at Hilton to experience just how loud it gets and just what a home court advantage it is. And when you win, you get players. So I always thought it was, and still do, I think it's one of the top jobs in the country.
1998-99. It's another transition year for the Cyclones, but there are signs of hope. The Cyclones finished 15-15 in Eustachy's first season, and at the time, few knew what was just around the corner.
We had a special player in Jamal Tinsley, who never lost a home game, who rarely lost in the 2 years he was there. And when you really look at when we took office, when Jamal showed up.
It's a 1-2 All-American punch of Tinsley and Pfizer. But that's just part of the story, as this is truly a team.
Jumper on the way. Rebound, Ransom. Tinsley pushes to Pfizer. A great look.
Well, we've seen Pfizer run the court.
Nurse for three. Bullseye. Kick out to Stevie Johnson. Good bounce pass to Sherwood.
Great play.
Horton.
Oh, what a play. What a play. That guy's been terrific.
And
it's a good win.
Larry Eustachy salutes the crowd. And Marcus Pfizer gets him in a bear hug.
We just kept getting better and better and better, and you know, just kept getting stronger all the way to the very end.
Comes back right in the lane, passes to Pfizer, layup good. Tinsley with the ball, cross court to Horton. Cantrell, a long three, good! Cantrell hits another monster three. Streaking down court for Iowa State, behind the back with the dribble now. Again behind the back, now moves on Boshi inside, up and good! Back to Pfizer, three-point shot, good! Marcus Pfizer with a three-pointer!
You don't have time to enjoy it. I mean, you really don't. So we were just trying to take it a practice at a time, to 2 days at a time, to the next game, to the next game.
Now a steal by Tinsley. Tinsley into the front court to Pfizer.
That'll get the crowd involved.
We weren't allowed to much think about how good we were.
Quick look to Stevie Johnson. Over to Shirley. What a great play by Iowa State.
At the time, we were just playing one night at a time.
Michael Nurse going inside, and the shot went down for Michael Nurse. What a bucket. Tough rebound for Iowa State. Tinsley has got Pfizer down there for Nurse. Tinsley, they can't find a three-point shot. Tinsley shuttles it inside to Paul Shirley for the bucket. There's Pfizer, nice catch down inside, and he slams it home. Coming away by Iowa State. They're down by two. Tinsley to the bucket hard. It's tied. This game is tied with 1:40 to play. Iowa State simply will not go away. What a gutsy team this is. Three on the shot clock. They've got to get one off if they're going to do it. Pfizer, oh, an nearly impossible shot. Huge for Pfizer. Iowa State up by 4 with 6 seconds to play. An unbelievable shot with the clock running out. And Iowa State has upset Kansas 64-62. Here in Allen Fieldhouse, they hadn't won here in their last 17 tries. They just did.
Late in the season, the Cyclones have gone from an afterthought to the forefront of college basketball. But the biggest weekend is about to arrive with back-to-back home games against Big 12 powers Texas and Oklahoma State. And this would be one magical week.
I remember it being just a madhouse because it was apparent at that point that we had a chance to win the Big 12.
Dean into Mim, knocked away by Pfizer. Tinsley has it, lead pass to Pfizer, drives on Manecki. Oh, what a stop by Pfizer! Marcus outlet pass goes to Tinsley. Jamal to Shirley, and he stuffs it again off the right side. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Tinsley with a monster shot. Good! A three-pointer, and it counts. Jamal into front court to Nurse. Spots up for three, takes it. Good! Mike Nurse! And the crowd is absolutely loving what they're seeing right now. Here's Pfizer, throws it over the top to Nurse. Nurse in front court, underneath Stevie, and he dunks it in. Pfizer in traffic, takes it in and stops it over Mim. Oh, what a move by Marcus Pfizer. He drove in and absolutely tomahawked it over Chris Mim. A no-look pass into Pfizer. He's double teamed. Gets it back out to Nurse. A three-point shot. Good! Perfect play by Iowa State. Pfizer drawing the defenders to him. Tinsley to Nurse. He spots up for a long one. Good! A three-pointer! Nurse back for Iowa State to Stevie. He drives and stuffs it in! Down court, Pfizer is open. And a reverse dunk! Back over his head. Marcus dribbles around on Montanati. Short jumper. Good! Marcus Pfizer putting on a show again. It's 69-53. 1:56 to play. The crowd on its feet.
It's a Cyclone sweep and a wild scene at Hilton Coliseum, leaving Iowa State just 2 road games away from winning the Big 12. And the clincher comes at Baylor.
67-54. Tinsley, great pass to Pfizer.
I'm telling you, Tinsley's got the greatest vision. That ball no more than hit his hands and went. It is gone.
Well, look at this again.
Let's look at that. One step, Pfizer doesn't put it on the floor, just jams it down, puts the cap on this ball game. Going to be a 200th win for Larry Eustachy and an outright crown for the Cyclones.
One championship down, 1 to go as the Cyclones take over the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City.
Here come the Cyclone fans. What an atmosphere. It's phenomenal.
And I thought the best game of the year that we were involved with was Oklahoma State in the tournament. You know, 2 very good teams, teams that had the right draw and situation could have won a national championship.
What do you know? Another tie in this one. A little more than 10 to go. What a dribble. Tinsley is fouled by Jean Zien.
Oh, good off the bounce. Watch this. Between the legs, gets a body contact off the glass.
Sweaty palm time now.
Cowboys have no timeout, so it'll be interesting down the stretch. Oh, strength.
Horton, Eustachy urges him on. Atkins, a little strong. Ahead to Johnson. Gottlieb fouled him, count it!
This Iowa State team likes to get out on a missed shot. Love the pass. Love the emotion.
Tinsley, Johnson, and he's fouled!
The ability to get the ball to the basket by Jamal Tinsley. Stevie Johnson knows how to finish. Oh, the emotion.
Cowboys need a stop now. Cyclones would love to get 2 here.
Iowa State very good because of their ability to handle the basketball. Look at it.
Tinsley.
Tough. Minded.
Cyclones are going to move on to the championship game.
What a hard-fought victory this was.
Sutton's already going to shake hands. He knows it's over. So the Cyclones, the regular season champs, into the finals.
Raymond for three. Can light it up, but he misses on that one. Stone tried to chip it back, but it is Johnson who comes away with it. It bounced past to Pfizer. Oh, he scores it, and he was fouled by Stone.
The hands and the finish.
And there shows the intimidation, the outlet pass, and look who it is, Pfizer. 265 pounds, and he runs the floor with ease. Johnson has it taken away. Hawkins is the man who caused it. And Tinsley with the spin move, and he'll score.
Well, we say smooth a lot when Tinsley has it in his hands. You can see why.
Pfizer causes Avila to miss from close range and then gets the rebound. And at the other end, with the left hand, Tinsley again.
Well, Jamal thinks he's back in Rucker Park in New York City. All conference, first team this year. Uses the body, puts it in his left hand, the softness.
They're going to bring Stevie Johnson out high for a screen. He'll not go back to it. Pfizer fouled by who? What a chance for a three-point play.
The powerful finish. Oh boy, he went between Johnson's legs. See that? Nolan Johnson playing defense. Tinsley put it between Nolan's legs.
Down to 4, down to 3, and it's Iowa State to win the Big 12 tournament.
You know, we did it with perseverance, we did it with toughness, and we proved that we were the #1 team in the Big 12. First time we ever did something like this. We finishing up our second chapter of our season, and we ended it with a championship. It feels great. Well, we're #1. That's my reaction. That's all I got to say. We're going to party tonight, and I'm done. 1, 2, 3,
What a season in Cyclone country as the men's and women's teams sweep both the regular season and Big 12 tournament titles, setting off the biggest basketball rally in the history of Hilton.
It's priceless. You know, you can't, again, I wish I knew then what I know now. You know, you don't really appreciate just how special it is and how it doesn't come along very often.
But the fun isn't done. The Cyclones have won the Big 12 championship, but now have a bigger prize in mind.
Tinsley with a little spin move and hello. Oh my goodness. I'm here and I'm ready to do some damage. Oh, another turnover. Here's Brandon Hawkins all by himself. Oh! Cliff Ellis wants the timeout. A little send it in, all because of great defense. Oh, look here's the steal, Tinsley. He's going to leave it for Nurse. He just violated every rule that I've ever heard. He dribbled into his man's path, and he still made it work.
And the bigger the game, Jamal Tinsley, for Jamal, the better he played. I mean, he got up for the big games.
Cantrell Horton put a shoulder down from the corner. Spot up for three. Drive, draw, present. Nice pass. Oh, boy. He went around the world, and he's going to get a chance to shoot a free one. What a great play. Now, crossover dribble, spin move. My goodness, he is something to watch.
Yeah, we had some great games. So UCLA was we just manhandled them. We were stronger, quicker, faster, more determined.
Here comes Tinsley. Look at the big pass at the other end for Pfizer. Whoa! So it has been a season to remember. It sure has. I mean, Coach of the Year, Player of the Year. Look at this penetration again and the finish. Count it. Johnson, but the magic in the lane. I think they took the challenge out there, the little guys. There's a little 2-on-1. Hold on. Tinsley. He can draw him, can he? A little sleight of hand, the cup. Always watch the cup here, Vern. A little semi. If the defense went, he would have kept it. A little hide and seek in the open floor. From the corner, Michael Nurse, yes. And he's got the stroke and the follow through. Iowa State Cyclones roar
through Auburn. And they pound UCLA 80-56.
It's an Elite Eight appearance for the Cyclones and a trip to Auburn Hills, Michigan to play the top-seeded Michigan State Spartans. Despite a home crowd advantage for MSU, the Cyclones play with heart and talent. The season may have ended with a loss, but it will be remembered for victories. A school record 32 wins with only 5 losses, cementing this team as one of the all-time greats at Iowa State.
Nobody can never take this away from us.
It was a great 3 weeks. You know, I don't need to look back in 2 years. I know it was a great run. We won the Big 12 championship. We came real close to winning our region in the Midwest. This team is just a great team, you know, and right over in that other locker room, they're wiping their brows saying, you know, I'm glad there's no more Iowa States out there.
It was obviously a really good basketball team. I don't know that we realized it at the time until we lost to Michigan State and then understood that there weren't any other teams left that were better than us, probably.
You get to the Michigan State game and you're up some points with very little time to go. There was a time in that game when Tom Izzo almost got kicked out of the game. I mean, that thing could have really flipped on them and gone our way quick. And then I think if that had happened, I think we were definitely head and shoulders above the other 3 teams in the Final Four. So you're that close to a national championship at Iowa State. What we begin this conversation about, it can happen here.
2000-2001, what will the Cyclones do for an encore? Marcus Fizer's off to the NBA, but the Magic and the Magic Man are back. And right from the start, the Cyclones take off.
I had gone into the season thinking, you know, back-to-back championships.
The freshman, not as good a defensive player as he is an offensive guy. How about this offense?
Oh, my. Vic Sullivan.
What do you say, unlimited range?
Tinsley, good move. Down the baseline, glass and good.
Iowa State's lead is 17. Rancic makes it 19.
There was a time during the conference play where we were playing as well as anybody in the country.
Tinsley to trigger. It's Rancic for a layup, and it goes! The pass. And Iowa State wins it! Unbelievable!
Shirley inside. Kentrell Horton with another terrific assist. He had Sullivan on the wing calling for the ball, but Horton right on the money again. I don't believe how far he's out. And he canned it. I mean, he is at the end of Kansas. And you got the best ball handler in college basketball. 9 seconds on the shot clock. And Tinsley's going to put up the 3, and he gets it. Axtell puts up a wild one. That's going to be an air ball, and Iowa State has won 4 straight games over the Jayhawks of Kansas, and this crowd is stunned. What a ball game.
I don't know that anyone expected us to do as well. Now, when we got close, when it was, again, evident that we had a chance to do it, pressure kind of mounted because everyone could see that this was a possibility and kind of didn't understand how that was even possible.
Alley-oop, dunked by Rancic. And he pounds it down with authority off the feed from Jamal Tinsley. Baseline Sullivan, jumper is up, good. Sullivan behind the 3-point arc, and it's good. Off to Tinsley. Over on the wing, Sullivan a mile out. Good! Oh my word, what a shot! Out on the logo. Stolen by Tinsley. Down court he comes, behind the back pass to Sullivan for 3. Good! Oh, man!
It all leads to the last game of the season, at home against Nebraska, where the Cyclones have a chance to wrap up a second consecutive Big 12 title. And the Cyclones put their hopes in the hands of Jamal Tinsley.
Jamal inside, driving shot up, and good! Oh, an underhanded flip in traffic, off the glass and good. Steal by Tinsley. He comes to the center of the floor, behind the back to Shirley, good! Tinsley back underneath to Horton for the layup. Somebody has to step up for Iowa State. Horton off to Tinsley, takes a long 3, good!
Big shot for Jamal Tinsley.
Tinsley with a move on Fields, up and good! Tinsley's got it, down court, off the glass, good! Jamal Tinsley! He has taken this game over. 42 seconds to Tinsley, drives up, good! He's fouled, the basket counts! Jamal Tinsley putting on a clinic, and man, that ought to do it, Eric. The Cyclones have done it again.
It's a second straight title for the Cyclones. Quite an accomplishment for a group that leaves it all on the floor. However, this would be the team's last celebration of the season. The Cyclones lose in the first round of the Big 12 tournament to Baylor, then lose a heartbreaker to Hampton in their NCAA tournament opener.
And I thought I maxed that team out. We left it all on the court against Nebraska at home. I mean, and that's it shows in our games and our scores all the way to the loss with Hampton. But I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, you can't take it away, the back-to-back. You can't take the banners down. I always thought the crown jewel of any season would be to win the conference, particularly a conference like the Big 12. So we live with it, but had I done it a little different and rested a few guys, we might have made a longer run in the NCAA tournament. But I would rather, and I think our fans would rather, be able to put that badge at back-to-back.
The bright spots outshine the sad ending to the season, highlighted by All-American Jamal Tinsley finishing his two-year Cyclone career as a two-time first-team All-Conference selection.
Tinsley was unbelievable. He made me Freshman of the Year. I could shoot the ball, which was my job, but he got me shots and he broke down the defense. And I mean, he was the reason I was Freshman of the Year. He was probably the primary reason we won the Big 12. Is Jamal's a special player.
Oh my goodness, Shirley hits after Tinsley bounced it through the defender's leg.
He was, just made everybody better around him.
Without him, I wouldn't have been here. I think I went to another program, I'd have been lost, not having somebody to get on me like he do. I went to another program, I would have just another old Joe, but he helped me out a whole lot by demanding me, pushing me, getting the best out of me.